I love playing rhythm licks in C. They sound so very good to me. They don't have to only land on the one. We can mess with the timing and have a little fun. Let's take the same licks and push them half a beat. Turn a few heads cause people think they're neat. And all you gotta do is change the strum just a bit. If you mess up, keep going, just don't quit. Howdy, welcome to BanjoBenClark.com. I am Banjo Ben, your host here on the site that teaches you how to play mandolin and banjo. This week is Guitar Week. Not long ago, I did a lesson showing us how to push ahead with our lead licks and kind of give the audience an idea of where the chords are going in the song, and it helps break down those barriers that sometimes we feel trapped by with the chords that we're playing over. Well, this time we're going to expand that into pushing ahead our rhythm licks, particularly in the key of C. I just love playing there. We'll cover some other keys as well, but we're going to take these rhythm licks that we already know and learn how to move them ahead just an eighth note and how to adjust our strums and make our playing more interesting. If you're watching somewhere besides the website, I'd love to have you on board. You can become a Gold Peak member, have access to hundreds of lessons. If you're already here on the site, just scroll down. You'll see the rest of the lessons for this video, or rest of the videos for this lesson, as well as the JamTracks and the tabs, if I can get my stuff together today. Let's go. Recently, I was helping a friend of mine figure out some of the guitar work on the Skaggs and Rice cut, There's More Pretty Girls Than One, and something that I've thought a lot about over the years just caught my ear again, and that was how Tony pushes the downbeat of those C licks. I thought, man, that's so cool. We need to learn how to do that. If you're not familiar with that cut, I just want you to hit pause right now. Go and buy that record, Skaggs and Rice, and listen to that cut in particular and see if you can pick out what I'm talking about. So I want to cover that with you today, and let me just give you an example of it first without pulling up any tab or anything. I just want to get your ears trained to what we're talking about here. Let's take another lick, one that we're not going to learn today, but you can put it in your arsenal if you want. This one in particular, it sounds like this. Okay, now that lick is just a one measure lick, and that last C note there is going to land on the downbeat of the next measure, the first beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and then you can go into your rhythm, whatever you want to do. But what we can do is we can push that root, that C note, and what I mean by that is scoot it up an eighth note and get there a little bit early so that it would sound like this. Did you hear the difference? Let me play them back to back. That was straight, here's pushed. Okay, so I think it's easy enough to push that root note an eighth note ahead, and I think it causes a really cool effect for the listeners. But we also need to think about what it's going to do to our rhythm on the other side, because we can't just grab the whole thing and scoot it up an eighth note and then go about our jolly business. We'll be an eighth note ahead of the rest of the band. So we have to make up that eighth note in the next measure, and I want to talk about that as well. Let's start with more of an easy lick and just look and see what it looks like on paper. Let's go ahead and pull it up. So our first lick is a great little rhythm C lick that I love to use. It sounds like this. Let me play it again right. Okay, so I've just got some basic strums drawn out here, measures 1 and 2. Later on, when we get into the exercise putting all these together, I'm going to give you some more complex strums, more like what I played at the top of the lesson. But what I want you to notice as I play measures 1 and 2 back to back is that the lick is going to land on that downbeat of measure 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. So our goal is to take that C note and move it up just a little bit. Anticipate. And what does that do for us? Well, again, I think it just kind of throws a hick in our giddy up that makes people pay attention to what we're doing. It just creates this cool little groove too, and you get to decide if you like it or not. I personally do, but if we're going to do that to this lick, it looks like what we have in measure 3. What did I do there? I'll play it for you. right, so what we had to do here, because the lick was full of eighth notes going into that second measure, if we're going to take this C note and we're going to scoot it back an eighth note, we have to get rid of one of the other notes in the lick, or it won't fit. And so what I've chosen to do in this particular one, can you see which note I eliminated? Can you figure that out? I think you can. So we're going to eliminate the second fret, the one that we get in the very last note of measure 1, and we're going to scoot our C note there back to where that second fret was being played. Now, what's going to happen then? Because then we're not going to have anything to play on the downbeat of the next measure. Well, that's where we're going to hold it over. And you see that little slur line, that little tie that's going from measure 3 to measure 4 with that third fret. That just means that it's going to hold over and ring throughout the first beat of that next measure. So it sounds like this again, measures 3 and 4. Now, here's the cool thing. I don't have to eliminate that second fret. I could adjust that lick however I want. I could take, instead of eliminating the second fret, I could eliminate the open A string and move the second and third frets back. What would that look like? It would look like this. So I'm just leaving the open string out that time. And that's got a little bit more of a major sound to it. You can do whatever you want. Here's the cool thing. At the end of these lessons, for all my lessons, we end the lesson without you being dependent on the tab. Rather, I end the lesson with you having the tools needed to go ahead and do some exploration on your own. Okay? So we're going to do 3 more of these licks in the next video segment. Then we're going to look at what I played at the top of the video and introduce some more complex strum patterns, some of the cross-picking strumming, you might say. And we'll look at all the different variations. I also want to take a look at the key of G and see if we can do anything with that G lick. And is this useful in other keys? I think that it is. If you're watching here on the site, just scroll down to the next video lesson. If you're watching somewhere else, come on over to Banjo Ben Clark. Join all the cool kids over there. Become a Go Pick member. Have access to hundreds of lessons. Let's go. Turn the